Welcome to the Glazier Nation podcast, where we uncover the best stories and the best practices of the glass and glazing industry. Whether you're a seasoned vet or just starting out your journey, this show's a great place for entertainment and a deeper understanding of our industry. I'm your host, John Spellman, and I'm truly honored to take you beyond the glass. Welcome back, y'all. Glazier Nation podcast, episode 32. My guest this week is Yussef Torres. Yussef is the Vice President of Labor Match for Glazier Nation. I've had the opportunity to work with Yussef over the last 2 years, either through some content creation or some event stuff, and I can easily understand why Glazier Nation made him a Vice President. We talked about his responsibilities with Glazier Nation, what Labor Match is, and the most surprising thing Yussef has learned about the glazing industry. Hey, if you follow the podcast, you probably saw our March Madness bracket with OmniCubed. Stay tuned. OmniCubed is giving me a couple more items to give away, and we'll be doing that through LinkedIn. So make sure you follow us at Glazier Nation Podcast on LinkedIn. I had a blast chatting with Yussef. Hope you enjoy the podcast. The Glazier Nation podcast is sponsored by Glazier Nation. You can check out all their offerings at glaziernation.com. If you're interested in sponsoring the podcast or other marketing opportunities, go to glaziernation.com/marketing. And if you have questions for me or you know someone that would make a great guest for the show, you can contact us on any of our social medias at Glazier Nation Podcast. Yussef Torres, every time you and I get together, it's always some random thing. And the last time we were together was at a mansion Airbnb in Georgia for Glass Build.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we were talking about Mexico, right? How Mexico is. Yeah.
I want to continue that conversation, but first, we were there. We were at Glass Build for Glazier Nation, and at least a portion of this podcast is going to get put on glaziernation.com as your profile. So we go from high school to a cleanup crew at a trailer store, to we go to more of a sales role at a trailer store. Now we're working in a nursery. How does this finally get to glass? How does this get to Glazier Nation?
Well, after 2 years, after 2 years I worked there, my brother, my older brother,
okay,
he was working with Matt. So we were working with him. So he introduced me to Matt and told me, hey, look, leave that nursery room. And when I was working in the nursery room, I was as a sales, not a salesman, but like I was like a supervisor. I was supervising the line. I was supervising putting in plants in the right locations, right on the right greenhouses and everything. I had people working, and then for my I'm bilingual.
Sure.
So they love me because I had the bilingual, and then most of the time, the people that worked there, they didn't know English, so I had to translate most of the time. But yeah, after that, after a year, my brother called me out like, hey, come work with us. He's gonna pay you more. He's gonna give you like a raise, and you're gonna love it. They're nice people. He's gonna treat you right. You're gonna do simple stuff. And I was like, okay. So yeah, so I started here at the office that I am now. We helped build it. Me and my brothers.
Yeah.
We helped build this office, and and I got paid more. So I got like a $2 raise off of it, and then I liked it. It was like I started labor, just on labor. When we got done doing this office, I started doing farm work for Mr. Matt, and his farm, where he had cows, goats, chickens, anything that deals with with farming. I did it all. Put fence, pick up roots. I mean, I did everything. I did like a lot of labor work. And then, I put porches. I helped put porches, and Uncle Johnny, he's been like a supervisor out there, and I know he done taught me a lot of stuff, how to measure, and he taught me so many tricks that I will never forget. He shows, because he's, Uncle Johnny, he has like, he's a real veteran in glass. He's
So Yussef, how did you come over, you get the job, your brother sets you up, you end up doing a bunch of farm work and stuff. How does that translate to now vice president of labor match? I mean, that's a very different title than a guy that's just doing some random farm work. What changed? Was it that you kept showing up doing hard work? What was the turning point there that you?
My turning point was when I decided to do, when I wanted to do better than what I was doing. Like, I wanted to do more than farm work. I wanted to be somebody in life. I wanted to be something besides labor. And I got the opportunity to be a vice president. So I had
how did that conversation come about? Like, what did you do, or what did Matt do? Who bridged the gap? What changed?
Matt offered me. Matt told me that he was gonna he's gonna have a title. He's gonna give me a title. He's gonna build me up, and he'll make me like a person, an important person that I am now. So I've always been there. Like, first of all, I started as a social media at first, like doing social media, posting, doing videos for Glazier Nation, and then he saw that everything I put in, I can do it. Like, I can do it all. Everything that he throws at me is like, I didn't complain. I didn't complain about it. Like, I just said, okay, you do it, and I said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I'll work my hardest. I put my mind into a more office mentality, and and then Matt saw that I'm like, everybody loves me in Glazier Nation. They see that I have a real good personality, real nice personality, and that also talking to customers. I had to talk to customers, create contracts.
So let's throw a bookmark in there for 1 second. What is labor match?
Labor match basically is like we're getting like guys that we'll have guys that we built the profiles, right?
Right.
And like, say you're looking for a glazer, a journeyman glazer, and it's just like, when you go on the internet, you look for like Airbnbs.
Yeah.
You look through it and you see which ones you like. So basically, what Labor Match does is, they put a whole lot of featured glazers in front of you that work, they work for us, and then if you select category like a journeyman, so that journeyman a lot of journeymen will pop up with all their certs. There'll be their certs, all their experience, all their work pictures, everything that that.
Is it safe to summarize that as Labor Match is kind of just like a search engine for glazers?
Yeah, I believe so.
More?
I believe more.
Okay.
Also, I believe more is like it's typically like that. Is more to where they can be their own boss. Like, the glazers can be their own boss. And they can create their profile. When they create their profiles, they become their own boss, and they're basically being advertised.
Okay.
And
so
they'll be able to get more work.
Yeah, your comparison was better. Airbnb was better than mine as a search engine, or any kind of matching thing, right? Like if you think of like online dating, right? You make your profile, you get matched with someone. The glazer can do that, or the employers can do that, right?
Yes, sir.
So Yussef, your role, vice president of Labor Match, what are your responsibilities with Glazier Nation?
My responsibilities is basically my role is workforce vetting. Labor Match, we're still doing Labor Match. We're doing as workforce vetting in a different way. but it's the same thing.
Explain what that is, workforce vetting.
So my responsibilities is like I have to vet these guys. Like they go on all sorts of series of exams. For after they get to the series of exams, they be able to I build a relationship with the guys, and I also I also give them my interview. When I give him the interview, get to know the guy.
Yeah.
Get all his certifications, what he knows, what's his weakness, what's his strengths. You know, um, so so before we put him in like the job site, we'll know who's in the job site. We'll know, what's his abilities, and after I do that, I showcase, we'll build the profile, for him, and I will showcase it to the customer, and the customer will look at it, all his certs, all his work, all these projects he's been at, if he has a criminal record, background checks are provided as well. So
Yussef, you said the provide for the customer. The customer is like a glass shop or a glazing contractor.
Right.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so they've got all this information on this glazer that you guys have vetted and put into a nice, easy, readable format in the profile. You guys know everything about them. You provide all that information, and then they make a choice. I want to hire guy A, B, and C.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then, on the topic of, why we do this is because because I hate when the fact that, workers, they don't, like some workers, like they get to the job and they don't finish the job because they want to jump for, a raise, a 50-cent raise, and also, some subs don't even pay their men. And when we get the guys and we vet them and we talk to them and everything, and some of the subs lie to you, they say, hey, this guy got 5 years of experience, but when he gets when he gets to the job site, he don't know nothing, like it's like a labor, like he literally doesn't know nothing about it. We had some issues where they, I need guys, I need real good guys, German glazers, and then we turned out to have apprentices. And this is
Yussef, let me ask a question. You said the subs. So are you saying like other labor subs, they're the ones that are potentially lying, and Glazier Nation is avoiding that by vetting the actual installer?
Right. Yeah. We're actually betting the installer.
As opposed to maybe a labor sub that goes to a glazing contractor and says, I've got these guys. The glazing contractor just has to kind of trust them at their word, where Glazier Nation has this built out profile with certifications and that kind of stuff. Is that
correct? Yes, okay. Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct. That's also, and then the a lot of people in the industry get bribed, and they are liars sometimes.
Who's bribing people? Because I would like to be bribed.
Yeah, I know. Like some the subs be bribing the customer, and then the customer be bribing the subs. So, and also we get people. We have people. We hate the fact that we send people, and then some customers, like the customers themselves are not paying on time, and they complain. And then also I complain about the guys being hired direct from our customer, when I'm gonna have men down, and that's another issue too. But WorkNab, also with the new system WorkNab, is we're trying to avoid that, because they will be connected under us. And they won't be able to take our men. So that's one thing. Also,
what WorkNab? What's WorkNab?
Okay, WorkNab. It's a platform where it's basically for the make the workers their own boss, make their and own their own businesses. Like that's our goal. Like WorkNab is basically what Glazier Nation does. WorkNab is the new I don't know if you heard our panel. We go with WorkNab, and WorkNab is more simpler. Like, it's easy to create you a profile. You can go in there, make your own profile, and sell yourself. Like you basically make a billboard of yourself.
It's the same concept of what we just described as Labor Match, right?
Right. This is the new Labor Match WorkNab.
Okay. Just new software, new platform.
Okay. Exactly. Some people are not tech savvy, and like WorkNab, takes you step by step and shows you how to do it.
Are you trying to tell me that people in the construction industry may not be tech savvy?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I honestly, from my personal experience, is mostly like the older folks that are like the Hispanics, the real traditional Hispanics.
Sure.
They don't know how to work a phone.
Yeah. Listen, I could probably make some jokes, but at the same time, my 8-year-old knows how to do more stuff than I know how to do on the computer and on the Nintendo. So I'm approaching being in that age group of not understanding technology. So I don't want to talk too much shit. Yussef, what is the best piece of advice you've received in your career?
My best piece of advice, I would say that never give up. If there's a will, there's a way. Also is that, if to be a warrior and not a warrior, to worry. You have to be a warrior and not a warrior. Be a warrior. You get what I'm saying?
No, I like that one. And not to keep talking about my son, but his walk-up song for baseball is a song called Warrior, and I'm going to use that one on him next time I catch him worrying. I'm going to remind him of his walk-up song, and that he cannot be a warrior. He's got to be a war. I got to say it right, but you got it. So who gave you those pieces of advice?
Mostly my parents. My dad. And also Matt, Matt Day, he also gave me a lot of advice. As hard as he pushes me, he really did an impact on me, pushes myself to do, because I'm a nice person. I got a big heart, and sometimes I let people run over me, and then Matt literally tells me, man, you can do this. And I'm like, okay, he put some spirit in me where I don't want to give up. I want to keep going.
Good. Well, shout out to dad's name is Edgar, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Edgar.
No. My dad is Celso.
Oh, I thought you said your dad and your little brother were Edgar. My bad.
No. My little brother's Edgar.
Okay. What's your dad's name?
It's in Spanish, so it's like Celso.
Celso.
Yeah.
Shout out to Celso Torres, right?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Matt Day.
Oh yeah.
Yussef, what is the most surprising thing that you learned about the glazing industry from working in it?
The most surprising thing is, it's not really a surprise. Cause for the first time I heard Glazier, everybody knows that it's just like a donut. Yeah, we're glazing donuts, or what, or what are you doing, But the most surprising is how beautiful buildings look, how the buildings are made. I didn't know how they did it. I'm surprised how they use all the suction cups and all that stuff to put in glass. All that technique. It's a skilled work. I thought stuff like that. It doesn't come to mind. It's just windows. but like no, it's more than that.
Yeah.
And there are some beautiful buildings, like all over the world, like say in New York, China, and other places. Uh, that the Khalifa Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Burj
a really
Khalifa.
beautiful tower, and that's a lot. That's a lot of glass there. People don't think, hey, who did all that? Who did all that? And there's like those some glazes right there. Then it's not easy to put all that glass that high.
Yeah, it's a super interesting phenomenon for me that normal people, not in the construction industry, not architects, you kind of are aware of carpenters, masons, plumbers,
Right.
electricians, and you may not know how all that stuff goes together, but you kind of have an idea, right, of how 2x4s go up and how drywall gets hung. Like you kind of just have an idea, but you're right. I think most people look at glass and don't realize that it's a system of aluminum or metal or whatever it is holding
Right.
glass, and the glass is put in piece by piece, or you've got unitized panels that are stacked on top of each other. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. It's more complex.
Right.
Normal person.
And we can't live without it. I got glasses. I mean, a lot of people has glasses, and we need it. I need it to see.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I mean, we're using cameras to talk to each other, and we're seeing each other on glass screens. So,
oh yeah.
hey, I
Just
do. You kind of hinted at it off the top when we were at that Airbnb for Glass Build. You and me and Edgar and maybe Fred was setting up the cameras.
Yeah.
But we were in that front office, and we started having a conversation about Mexico. And speaking of a normal person who maybe doesn't know how glass works,
Right.
I don't really know how Mexico works, right? Like I kind of know some things. I kind of have some preconceived notions.
Right.
What was interesting to me about our conversation that I want to get a little deeper into was, is Mexico a good place to live? And if it is, why is it? If it isn't, why isn't it? Or maybe it's both. Maybe it's sometimes a good place to live. Maybe it's sometimes not a good place to live.
Um, I had the same theory, like the same questions, because all my life, I've been in the United States. I never left the United States. Yeah, I was here. I can't, my dad got me here when, he came in the border. I was like 2 years old, 3 years old. All I know is United States.
Yeah.
All I know is here. I don't know nothing else. The Spanish, I know my Spanish because, my parents, they speak to me in Spanish, my first language. I had to learn English, and it's a bright, and then like in Mexico, I had 5 years that I haven't seen my parents, and I work under DACA, so I don't know if you heard of DACA. So DACA is basically work. They gives you a work permit, social security, but only for work, and I can work, and also like I do renew it every 2 years, and it really like it's a lot of money to keep redoing it. It's basically, they kept doing background checks on you, do fingerprints. I did fingerprints and everything and all that. And, I had to, do another application was called advanced parole to go see my grandma that's sick. She's ill. She was real ill. Like she can't really travel, and I had to do that paperwork. And also, I had that chance to see my parents. So for over 5 years, I don't see them.
Yeah.
My dad got deported, and I'm glad, I got that chance to go see Mexico for the first time, because like when I got there, I'm telling you, I was scared. I was literally like, oh, they'll know I'm American. They're gonna steal me. Oh, I'm gonna go there. They're gonna bribe me. Oh, they're gonna, stuff like that. People be thinking like Mexico is like a really bad place. There, you walk in, you see you're American. Oh, they'll pickpockets. They take your stuff out of your pocket. And then when I got there, and I was like, and I looked at the airport, and thinking it's gonna look different. I looked at it, and it's like, wow, it's like pretty nice. It's a big airport. It's like the only different thing is that a lot of people are just Hispanic.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I got to know Mexico more. I've been to the Catholic Church, to the big Catholic Church there in Mexico City. It's called La Catedral. And then we've seen it. It's like it's the most beautiful place you go to. See a lot of statues, and it's a big old church with Mary and Jesus and all, and the people treat me good. Like people didn't discriminate me. People, there was no places that they will say, I'm gonna rob you.
Yeah.
Hands up or anything like that.
Well, I have a hunch, and you can speak on this, but I have a hunch that there are probably beautiful places, right? I don't even think that's a hunch. I know that there are beautiful places, right? And I'm sure that there are very well-to-do areas,
right?
In that, in the cities or the suburbs, probably has a similarity to America in that there are a lot of really nice, well-to-do places in cities and suburbs, and then there's places that are not nice.
Right.
And I'm sure Mexico City has very similar things. I'm sure there are parts of Mexico City that are not nice. I'm sure there's parts that are beautiful. And then I'm sure you have suburbs that do the same. I mean, is that far-fetched?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, the same thing like like here in the United States. There's parts that you want to be away from.
Sure.
And there's parts that there's beautiful places to go, and there's springs, there's like sightseeing and all that, so like, for like the people that, are in the cartel or anything, a lot of people think Mexico is full of, cartel, and the cartel is gonna, get you or not. The only reason if the cartel will get you if you mess with their stuff. If you're doing your thing, they're not gonna mess with you. Like,
they probably don't care about the normal everyday person.
They don't care about the normal. They only care about like their enemies. So another cartel, and then they like some, like not all Mexico is cartel. I mean, there's some places that the government, they're like the places is protected. Like where we're in Mexico City, it was a lot of it was protected. There was a lot of, I seen, cops everywhere. Cops were guarding, guarding like stores and all. They just like security. They were just like security. And then, I felt safer, because they were around. But they were, they just for all them other people that they're not behaving. They're just there, to be there. But yeah, and then it's hard, to be as a DACA, because I wanna get my citizenship and be able to go back and forth and see my parents. My parents are
that's the next step from that, is becoming a citizen.
Yeah, I have to do the test and do all that other stuff, to be in, in this, you be legal.
Yeah.
In which they do background checks every 2 years, like, cause I renew it, and it's
what does DACA stand for? What are the initials?
I'm not pretty sure, but we get called dreamers, and I'm not sure what DACA stands for.
Honestly. I was just curious because I want to ask Fred, because I want to know what's different. Like, so Fred's from South Africa, right?
Right.
And I know he's not a citizen yet. He's going to do the same thing, take the test and all that. And I'm just curious if it had to do with the country of origin or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Just curious.
Right.
So I think I know the answer to this one. What are you doing when you're not doing Glazier Nation? And I think it's raising a 2-month-old baby and working with your brother.
Yes, that's for the most part. But sometimes you got to have fun. I like hanging out with my family. I like cooking out. Like I don't like. I love when my dad cooked out when he was here. But I had to learn over the phone because I keep in contact with him because my girlfriend love like cookouts. Like she love grilled food and all in the charcoal grill.
Yeah.
I love grilling, so now I love grilling. I like eating some Mexican ribs, like some burgers, tacos del pastor, pollo asado. It's some like fried chicken, like kind of like fried chicken, but
Yeah.
asado, pollo asado. And I like going like to soccer events. I like going, I also like playing soccer in my free time, like just hang out with my friends, get together, all that. And then my hobbies also is like I like I like cars, trucks, I like them cars with the scooped up. They look nice. They have their rims and then the big engines and I like seeing them race. Drag racing is like I don't know. It's just something that I like.
Is there
Just,
drag racing in Douglas, Georgia?
yeah, they have a drag race here. Yeah,
Cool.
but I like mostly like going to truck shows like in Atlanta. They do it every year. It's called Atlanta Truck Invasion. They have a lot of like show trucks. There's lower, there's lifted, there's drag racers, there's some like a concert too, and I also like going to concerts. I love dancing, so I like dancing everything. In Spanish, cumbia, bachata, norteños, corridos, todo like all types of Mexican, like all time Mexican and Latin music. Not
Sure.
just Mexican, just another type of music.
Sure.
I mean everything. So
That's good, man. It's good to stay busy. It's good to do all that stuff.
yep. And then the most part is I love being with the family. I love being with my family. That's what my dad taught me. He taught me that we family sticks together. Nobody. If somebody gets in a fight, it happens. Say sorry. And then come back together. Be strong together as a family. And like that's how on Glazier Nation. That's how I treat it. So I treat it as they were my family members. And if I see a family member down, I'm like literally gonna blow like, hey man, tell me how can I help you, pick you up because my family is really like focused on family respect, family. I'm all about family, all
Well,
about
having
respect.
having interacted with you and worked with you on and off for a couple years now, I can say that you do walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk. You're a hard worker. You're committed to your team, and we love to see it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I thankful for the opportunity that Glazier Nation gave me, and like I'm happy because I feel like I'm part of a big family that like they love me to death and I love them to death, and that's what it's all about.
Appreciate it, man. It's time for you to go home and give your wife a break from that 2-month-old baby.
All right.
Thanks, man. You have a good night.
You too.